18 WJTS Sports presents the Jasper Wildcats versus the Vincennes Lincoln Alice's. This game's brought to you by Carpet Warehouse, DuBois County Tire and Supply, Hubelor & Sons, and DuBois County Cares. Now let's go down to the court.
Welcome to Alice Arena. The game played on Gunnar Wyman Court. We are in Vincennes, Indiana, as the Wildcats will take on the Vincennes Lincoln Alice's. The Jasper Wildcats at 5-15 against an Alice team that stands at 1-14. Hello, everybody. I'm Craig Schneider, along with Jason Stamm and Jeremy Markos on the video. And well, the thing is, Jason, and this is one of those situations, tough season for both these teams. But the bottom line is one team has Jasper on their chest, the other one has Vincennes. So that right there means a lot.
You're right, Craig. You know, you can basically throw out the records. It means absolutely nothing when these two schools get together in any sport. Doesn't matter whether it's football, basketball, baseball, tennis, golf. It doesn't matter.
Right.
The two don't like each other. You know, and it's been a, you know, I mean, it's a rivalry, but it's a, you know, a healthy rivalry.
Right.
I mean, it's, you know, it's good for high school sports.
Sure.
It really is. I mean, you know, you enjoy getting to see these games, you know, whatever sport it is. You know, it's a shame, you know, the arena tonight, this is a big, nice gym, you know, but not a lot of fans here. You know, I mean, it's not bad for a Tuesday night, but, you know, under normal circumstances, there'd be a lot more.
Sure.
But like I said, you know, it's a great rivalry. You know, we were both in the Big Eight for many years back, you know, I think that started back when we were in school in the early 80s there. So, you know, we were always in the Big Eight and matched up with them. You know, we were sitting here during the JV game counting the sectional championships that Vincennes has, and what was the number? I don't even remember.
73.
73 sectional titles, and they had some runs there where they had 20 years in a row or so where they won the sectional. You know, so, you know, obviously they've had great tradition at Vincennes for basketball. You know, as well as Jasper. Jasper's had the same, you know. So, and that's, you know, that's what makes these games fun. And like I said, you know, you can throw out the records. The records don't mean anything.
No.
You got to come out, you know, and from Jasper's standpoint, you know, obviously the sectional's a week from tonight, you know, and that's the biggest thing, you know, that as a coaching staff, I'm sure they're looking to do is to improve and do the things that we need to do to be ready for the sectional next Tuesday night.
Yes. Yeah, there's no doubt about it because, again, you know, tough week prior to this. I mean, we had a loss against Castle where Castle pretty well dominated that game from the start. The Jeffersonville game, pretty well the same thing there. So, you know, coming off those two tough losses, now you get an opportunity against a Vincennes team that's been down this year. Again, just one win, and that was against Borden back on December 30th, winning that game 62-50. So, you know, it's just one of those games where it's like, you know, you got to basically right some things because the sectional starts next week.
That's exactly right. You know, when you go into the sectional next week, your record's 0-0, just like everybody else's. You know, and you know, right here, you only get a turnover to start the game, and that's, you know, against a team that's struggling the way Vincennes has been. You know, you can't do that. You know, a team like this, you know, you need to execute, do the things you need to do, and get ahead, and then keep your foot on the gas. You know, it all starts from taking care of the basketball.
Yeah. And everything, too, it's going to be an emotional night for a lot of the guys because actually they're starting 4 seniors on this team. It's senior night here at Vincennes, and that first bucket was scored by Peyton Curry, number 2. But, you know, again, they're going to play with a lot of emotion and effort tonight as well.
They are. You know, like you said, it's their last home game, I guess, on this court, the seniors. So, you know, they're going to play like it's Jasper and Vincennes. They're not going to play like it's a 5-15 and a 1-14 team playing each other. So we got to take care of the basketball and do the things that we need to do to come out of here with a victory. As there we force them into a turnover over and back, but you know, like we said, we've got to come out of here and do the things that we need to do, take care of it.
Right.
Vincennes is starting in a man-to-man defense. You know, I'm sure we're going to see some of that in the sectional. So, you know, it's good that we can work on our man offense here a little bit.
All right, so Day there gets a drive to the lane, loses the handle of the basketball. So here comes Vincennes the other way. That's Ethan Bushy with it, number 30. Their starters are Peyton Curry's number 2. Simon Corona's 3. Emmanuel Smith is 20. Cooper Thorne is 25. And Ethan Bushy is 30. And the Wildcats start Day, Ernie, Mundy, Berger, and Goodhue on the floor. All right, so a jump ball there. And
looked like Goodhue, in my opinion, got away with a foul there because he's right below us, and he had both hands in the back of the guy that caught the ball. But and the referee's kind of talking to both of them now. I don't know what about, but this is a refereeing crew from Evansville, I believe, because it's a father-son with, I believe the other one might be a Redmond.
oh, okay.
His dad was my baseball coach at USI, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
I know one of them down there does referee, so
Okay.
it looks like it might be who that the other third official is. So
And Redmond also coached at
Du
Du
Bois,
before
yeah,
then.
yeah.
Corona tries to get to the lane there, and we've got a foul here. It's going to go on the Wildcats. So first foul of the ball game. 5:27 on the clock. 2-0, just underway as Gus Heichelbeck's going to be the first sub off the bench for the Wildcats.
Good you picked up that foul.
And again, I know that was a really tough basketball game we played against Jeffersonville the other night, and the Wildcats started all 5 seniors in that game. But I just looked back at my score sheet and just realized that none of the starters scored in that game for Jasper.
Yeah,
So.
and you know, more so the fact that they were all seniors and nobody scored was probably a little more saddening than the fact that none of the starters scored.
Right.
You know, on senior night, you'd like for them all to have that opportunity, but you know, I think that's kind of a little bit of what our problem has been all year, Craig, is we haven't had any senior leadership.
Right.
You know, a couple of them with Schmitty and Wally don't play a lot, but the other ones that do, you know, it just seems like we haven't gotten much leadership out of.
Yeah.
And you know, we've talked about that game after game, and it's not necessarily all the time that it has to be a senior that, as Gus has a nice inside spin move there, but you know, you need leadership out there, and whether it's Isaac Day, whether it's Tanner Ernie, whether it's who, but you know, you got to have somebody out there that is going to be a leader for this team.
Right. Somebody's got to run the show. All right, so good shot fake there. So Ernie's able to get his first 2 points of the ball game. So the Cats tie the basketball game at 4 with 4:27 on the clock. Cats being aggressive defensively, both with their half-court traps, now showing some full-court press there. Now Corona gets to the lane and puts it up and in. So he's got 4.
I don't know, what's Corona average a game?
I'm not sure. I didn't have any numbers from them.
Okay.
They had no information out there, really.
Gus drills the
pops
three.
a 3.
The only reason I ask that is because the name kind of sticks in your mind, and I remember him from coaching against them and whatever.
Right.
You know, and he was always a pretty decent ball player.
All right, so nice feed inside, but good defense by the Cats to get some hands on that. He's not able to get it up and in, and now there goes Ernie. He puts it up off the glass and scores, and he'll have a chance to add another. So 4 points for Tanner. Jasper now with a 9-6 lead. First substitution is Luke Tolliver, who checks in. Luke is a sophomore, 5'10", 155 pounds.
So far, we're doing a pretty good job of being aggressive and going to the basket with the ball, you know, and have gotten some pretty easy shots from it. That's something that, you know, when we're playing well, we're doing a lot of. So we need to continue to do that. And Vincennes isn't, you know, a team like that we've played in the past where they've had somebody inside that can block a lot of shots. They don't look like they, you know, I don't know what sizes they've got, but they don't have a lot of size, you know, that of guys. There's Mundy left wide open.
He pops that one, so the Wildcats have hit 2 3-pointers, and now have built a 13-6 lead. So we'll take a break. 3:11 on the clock. Cats 13, Vincennes 6 here on 18 WJTS. And here at Alice Arena, the Wildcats leading the Vincennes Lincoln Alice's 13-6, and Vincennes calls that timeout. Jordan Myers is their coach now, and he's in his second year at the school, 11-27. He went 10-13 last year, and had a couple years at Benton Central. Good year in 2019 where he went 16-8 with that team. Of course, the Wildcats coached by John Gable. And to get his team ready for the sectional starting 1 week from tonight, where, of course, the Wildcats will play. They will play the Central Bears, and that's going to be the second game of the Evansville North sectional. Castle against North in the first game. Jasper plays the second, scheduled at 8 o'clock start Eastern time. Wrights and Harrison got the byes.
Anybody that's, you know, looking to go down there to that, I would recommend that they try to get there early because, that first game is going to be a pretty good game with Castle and North. Jasper got a good draw, you know, I mean, in all honesty. You know, you got what I would consider the three powerhouses all in the top with Wrights and North and Castle. So, but you got to, you know, when it comes tournament time like that, you got to take care of yourself.
Right.
You got to do the things that you need to do to win and advance. You know, and to win those things, you have to take care of yourself.
All right, so trouble there to get the Wildcat defense. Day doing his job, forcing that timeout. So we'll take another break. 13-6, 2:32 to go here in the first. You're watching the Cats here on 18 WJTS. Side out for the Alices. Simon Corona, number 3, scored 4 of their 6 points so far in this basketball game. It's a good battle between Gus going against Hardiman down low. Hardiman trying to post him up. Gus stays right on top of him, forces the kick out to the corner. Shot doesn't go, but Hardiman's going to get that long rebound.
Gus has got the height on him, but Hardiman's a pretty good-sized kid.
Oh, yeah.
Strong. I mean, Gus ain't pushing him around inside there, but.
And he pops the J, so he steps out and hits that baseline jumper. So first 2 points for him. 13-8's our score. Hardiman was actually a really good football player over his career here at Vincennes.
Yeah, I can tell that. I mean, he's built like one.
Right. Day has to go up and under as he stopped in the lane there and adjusts his position, puts it up and in. First 2 for him. Cats lead by 7 with 1:30 to go here in the first quarter. Set up, good job there by Gus to knock that away. Now Day's got a breakaway and put it up and in for his 4th point now. 17-8, Jasper up.
The press is bothering Vincennes a little bit. You know, that doesn't look like they have a lot of ball handlers out there on the floor. Outside of Corona, I mean, he looks like he's probably their ball handler, but the rest of them don't look like they're real smooth at handling.
Gus stops Ooge, cannot pop it though. 41 seconds to go. Jasper 17, Vincennes 8. First quarter action here. Of course, this court named after the man who loves Jasper, Indiana more than anybody ever.
Yeah, he
Gunnar
does.
Wyman.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stories that you can tell about him.
He said he'd rather be here than in Jasper, Indiana, is what his gravesite says, I think.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
There's some other derogatives that you could add to that we can't say on the air, but wholesale substitutions for Jasper. Foley, Englert, Heim, and Berger in, along with Allbrand stayed in. So,
and for the Alices, I see number 4, Noah Bushy, is checked in. So the first foul shot, it's a three-point play opportunity, doesn't go. So 17-10 with 13 seconds to go. Spencer Englert with it. Allbrand, who led the Wildcats in scoring against Jeffersonville, can't get that one to drop. All right, so the Wildcats, a little slow start there, fell behind early, but now they pretty well took control and lead by 7 at the end of 1 here on 18 WJTS. All right, so the Wildcats with the 17-point quarter. Scoring's been a little difficult for them in the last couple basketball games, so it's good to get a good start here against Vincennes, leading 17-10.
Yeah, 17-point quarter. That's a nice quarter for a high school basketball game.
All ran short on that, but good job by Connor to get that rebound. Cats keep the same 5 that ended the quarter on the floor right now.
Foley's athleticism got that because of his height and his ability to jump. He was able to go up and out-jump his defender to get it.
Berger makes a move, drives, stops, and puts it off the glass. First 2 points for Caleb Berger. 9-point lead for the Wildcats. Xander Hunt, that's number 13. Brought him up off the JV team for this second quarter action.
Berger's going to pick up that foul on Jasper.
All right, so foul situation. That is
number 2.
Team foul number 5 on the Wildcats, second on Berger.
Yeah, Isaac Day's checking in for him. Jasper's got 5 team fouls. Vincennes has got 1.
Was he trying to show his ball handling skills?
I'm not sure what he was trying to do. Yeah, I'm not sure if he was trying to do that or if he just lost it or what, but wasn't very productive.
Smooth, right?
Yeah.
All right, so the Cats get a bucket the other way. Day's able to put it in there, so he's got 6 points.
I mean, the way Jasper's trying to run the full court press, if Vincennes was smart, they would just get the ball handler.
Foley with the jam.
They would just get the ball handler or the ball and everybody else get out of his way so they can't trap.
Yeah.
But see, they keep 4 guys on that side of the half court line, and it just lets Jasper have that opportunity to trap by doing that.
Well, the Cats had to catch up there as they were able to break the press. Cooper Thorne got fouled there, so he'll go to the line to shoot 2. But so the Cats were getting dunked on heavily the other night against Jeffersonville, so it's nice to see us dunk on somebody. So good job by Connor Foley on that jam there. Makes it a 23-10 lead right now, but Vincennes looking to cut into that with 2 free throws.
And this is what, we've talked about games in the past. In this situation, as Ernie checks in for Englert, Corona come in for Vincennes, but you're at this stage of the game now where you've got a 13-point lead. You've got to keep building on that. Don't relax and let up and let your opponent back in the game. You got to keep keep your foot on their. You got them down. You got your foot on their throat. Keep it on there.
Right.
Keep putting the pressure on them. Keep taking the ball. Keep doing the things that got you where you're at now. And that's what in high school basketball so many times. That's what happens is, kids they have success and they get leads and they listen to the coaches and they run their scouting reports and then they get a lead and then it's like they want to go back to doing what they like to do and what they want to do, and then that's what lets the other team right back in the game. And this stage in the season, you can't do that. Well, you shouldn't do it any time.
Sure.
But especially, things are amplified now towards the end of the season. We have to keep building off of it and doing these things that, the coaching staff has set up a scouting report of things to do. And right there, Foley misses 2. We get the rebound, which is great. But, come sectional time, you miss 2 free throws, you know, those can come back to haunt you.
Right. The Cats so far 1 of 3 from the foul line on the season, shooting just 59% this year.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I've been to their practices. I know they work on them. I know they practice free throws. What is it? You know, it's a lack of concentration. It's a lack of, you know, whatever.
Is he calling a foul on Jasper there?
He did. He called the foul on Albrand before this under official called the foul on the Vincennes player for the charge.
Yeah, Gable just dropped his head like, you got to be kidding me. Huh. All right. That actually is the 7th foul on the Wildcats, so we got 1 in bonus right now for number 2, Peyton Curry. 2nd foul on Albrand. And he can't hit that free throw, so they're struggling from the line just as much. Three of 6 so far for them.
Yeah, the free throw shooting tonight not been impressive on both sides.
We're just into it. All right, so Foley up top. Hardiman on him. Now kicks to the corner. Day's going to take the shot, but short. Hardiman knocks it away. And they're able to save it back to him.
Nice hustle.
So the Alice is with the basketball, trailing by 12. Good job there by Connor.
Vincennes just doesn't look like they have a lot of a go-to guy to score.
Right.
You know, I don't know what their scoring averages are, but they just don't look like they have that go-to guy. You know, and there's a perfect example that, and I don't know who it was, and I'm not picking on the kid, but the kid tried to make the steal. He used his wrong hand to try to make the steal, and when he did that, he missed. Now he leaves all his buddies, his teammates down there in trouble, and Jasper ends up with an easy basket.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what, you know, as a coach, those are the things that drive you crazy. You know, because you teach them to use the proper hand in
that's a trouble
in defending. And then, you know, they go out there and they do things like that.
Right.
You know, and again, there's a turnover that's unforced.
Right.
You know, there was nobody, there wasn't a Vincennes player within 10 feet of him, you know. And what causes that? If you can figure that out and put it in a bottle, you can probably sell it to every high school coach in Indiana. But
that was kind of a case there of trying to do something with the ball before you have the ball.
Yeah.
All right, so Cats knock it away. Ingler gets it down court. Bounce pass, trying to hit Carter underneath, but it gets knocked out of bounds, and Vincennes will get it back. So, all right, here we are with the 25-11 game. Jasper leads, 3:42 on the clock, second quarter. 7 fouls on the Wildcats, 2 on Vincennes.
Jasper's going to drop back off the full court. Just come back to half court man-to-man defense. They like to set the ball screen high there at the free throw line, extended at the elbow.
Bushy makes a spin move there and puts it off the glass, doesn't go. Good job by Tanner to save that. All right, so Isaac with it. Got Carter open for 1 shot so far. Popped a 3. See if we can try to get him on a scoring play on this possession as they work it. He's got it in the corner. He's going to launch the 3. High arching shot, way too long though. So Vincennes looking for their first field goal of the second quarter. Good job here by Gus to knock that away, and it goes out of bounds off Vincennes. So here comes Michael Beekler into the ball game. Carter's going to sit.
Michael's been playing quite a bit of JV minutes here in the second half of the season. You know, we get here early for most games and get to watch some of the JV games, you know. And, you know, Michael's one of those kids that, you know, I hope for his sake that he doesn't hang his head because he is playing JV minutes. He's a great kid. He works hard, very athletic. You know, and he's just one of those, he's kind of caught up with this year's team behind some guys that, you know, he can't overtake them as far as playing time goes. He reminds me a lot of my son. You know, as a junior, he played JVs, and then as a senior, he was able to start for the varsity.
Right.
You know, and that's why, you know, and I think Michael's a good kid, and I think, you know, he's going to stick with it. You know, I think he'll be back out here next year.
Oh, sure.
But you know, you got to give kids like that credit that, you know, are willing to do that, not hang their head and sulk, because it's easy as a junior to say, oh man, I got to play on the JV team, but utilize it. Go down there, work on your things that you need to work on to get better, you know, and by the time you're a senior, you may have the opportunity to get some quality minutes. Gus hits the first free throw. Good use checking in for Gus.
All right, inside at 2 minutes with 1:58 on the clock, 26-11. Make it 27.
You know, and you know, throughout the course of the year, you know, we've talked about how Coach Gable's used multiple players. You know, I mean, you look down there, the bench is right here in front of us. You know, again, every one of the players has been in the game outside of Schmitty and Wally.
Good job by Goodhue to keep that ball alive as it went on the floor there, and he hits Dave for another bucket. So 8 points for Isaac, 29-11.
Vincennes is just like, they're scared. You know, I mean, the press has just got them completely.
There's a scrum on the floor here. It's going to be a jump ball, and the possession goes to Vincennes. But, yeah, defensively, the Wildcats just dominating. Again, just the only point coming from the free throw line. And they're not even really getting good shots off.
No, they're not.
If any, really, on some of these possessions.
You know, again, like I said, a lot of it's the lack of ball handlers. They don't really look like they have any. They don't look like they have a go-to scorer, somebody that, you know, when they need a basket, they can give it to them and say, be a leader for us.
Well, there's a drive to the basket by number 20, Emmanuel Smith. He gets fouled, so he'll get a chance to shoot two.
I think they called that on Goodhue, I believe. Nope, 5 on Day.
Day. All right, so Day's going to sit. He's going to get Carter back into the ball game. So 8th foul on the Wildcats. We had that 7th foul with about 5 minutes. And Cats doing a good job defensively. Did not commit another foul until now. Foul shot is good. So second point scored in this quarter by Vincennes, 29-12. Smith looked good on those 2 foul shots, so he pops them. 29-13 with 1:16 on the clock here in the first half. Mundi, and he pops it. So again, just give him an inch there. He's going to hit that shot.
Yeah, and that's a set play. You know, so that's a shot that they shoot a lot in practice. So by doing that, as Englert picks up a foul coming over the back, but when a lot of times in practice, Jasper will run shooting drills that they use to shoot, to work on their shooting, but it's shots that are arrived out of their offense. So just like that, you know, they may start on the low block and pop to that spot where they catch and shoot. So in the game, just like what happened right there, Mundi caught it and was ready to shoot it. So, you know, those are big things, and an advantage is, you know, when you do that, when you practice those shots, it's a lot easier to shoot them.
Sure.
And you have confidence in them.
Well, I'll tell you, one guy who's confident at the free throw line is Emmanuel Smith. He's hit 4 for 4 here. So now 32-15 is the score. 44 seconds on the clock here. As Cats getting into their offense against a man-to-man defense. They have not broke out of that with a zone or anything yet.
No, Vincennes has been straight man-to-man, which is kind of surprising, but kind of not either. I mean, some teams don't like to deviate from, you know, what they feel they're best at.
Sure.
kind of Bobby Knight-esque. You know, he wouldn't play his own hardly.
No.
And then, you know, and that's kind of the way we do our 6th grade, you know, as Mundy hits a 3 again. Uh-oh. Ooh,
Man, almost
that was
hit
close.
that. Real close. All right, so Mundy coming on strong here with 2 quick 3-pointers. He's got 9 in the basketball game, and he is actually the leading scorer now for the Wildcats here in this first half. So 35-15, Jason, and I thought it was a really hard-fought defensive game so far for the Cats here in this first half, and you know, took advantage of scoring opportunities as well.
They have, you know, they've played good man-to-man defense. You know, again, you know, we talk about it at times. You know, your defense can look really good when you're playing against a lesser opponent.
Sure.
You know, and I'm not taking anything away from Vincennes, but I mean their record kind of speaks for itself. You know, so I'm also not taking anything away from Jasper's defensive effort.
Right.
You know, we're out there, we're playing good defense, we're playing hard, but it's making us look good too because they don't have anybody that can handle the ball and that
right.
type of thing. But in the same token, we have to keep working hard and we have to keep doing those things, you know, and keep trying to improve on defense. And,
right.
and you know, and that's what, you know, just like us pressing. You know, somebody'd say, well, why are you pressing when you're ahead 20? Well, we're gonna need it
next week.
We're gonna need it next week. So you need to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we need to get better at it. And that's you know, as a coaching staff, I think that's one thing, you know, that they try to do is they try to, this last week or 2 weeks, they try to work on things that we need to get better at as a basketball team to have ourselves an opportunity to win in the sectional.
Right. All right, well, good first half for the Cats and something we needed. 18 points scored in that second quarter, 17 in the first. So they lead 35-15 here at halftime on 18 WJTS. All right, we're back once again here at Alice Arena in Vincennes, Indiana. The Wildcats with a dominant first half, 35-15. When you're up by 20, that's dominant, right, Jason?
That is. You got the score doubled, over doubled.
Yeah.
You know, and like we talked there a little bit in the first half, you know, we've got to continue to work on things to get better. You got to throw out the scoreboard. You know, you don't want to watch the scoreboard. It doesn't matter what it says.
Right.
Keep working on the things you need to do. Take care of the basketball and let the game play itself.
Right.
Don't worry about your opponent. Get better for a week from tonight. So.
All right, so the Cats will have the basketball. Day, going down the scoring here, Isaac Day at 8, 7 for Ernie, 9 for Mundy with those 2 3-pointers in the second quarter, boosted that. Berger had 2, and off the bench, Gus Heichelbeck getting back on track. He's got 7 points in the first half and 2 points for Connor Foley on that slam dunk. Vincennes had 6 different players score, led by Coronas 4, and also Emmanuel Smith hit 4 free throws.
Jasper's kind of switched around a little bit on their offense. I noticed they've got Mundy bringing the ball up as what you would say is the point guard to initiate the offense. And part of that is it was a set play to get him a 3-point shot, and Vincennes did a pretty good job of sniffing it out, pushing him out a little bit too far. But I think that might be part of the reason why we've got him running the point position there some.
All right, well, they got the feed in there. Goodhue kind of gambled there and lost his man, so Thorne gets the first 2 points for the Alices, and it's actually their first field goal since the first quarter.
Thorne's probably happy to see Gus and Foley out of there because he's about the same size as Goodhue in there, so he's probably glad to see somebody more his size to battle with him.
All right, so the Cats' first 2 possessions not able to get anything on the board yet. 35-17 with 6:49 to go here in the third. Curry stops. Good job by Tanner to cut him off. Now he has to help out on Bushy. So switch now with Day on Smith.
They just don't look like they kind of, I don't want to say they're lost on offense, but they don't move with any urgency.
Right.
They're running their offense, but it's kind of a just jog to a spot instead of cut with some urgency and post with some urgency and, and try to get open.
Well, and the other thing, I'm noticing is that they tend to pick up their dribble in difficult spots on the floor,
Exactly. And they let Jasper's defense dictate what they do.
Yeah.
And Jasper's has done that sometimes too against other opponents. They let the defense dictate what you want to do, and you can't do that.
All right, so a little rough house right there as number 25 hacks Goodhue away from the basketball. So some Vincennes shenanigans starting to go on, I'm sure. Tend to see that over here.
Yeah, and you hope that it doesn't get too bad here, with the score and play gets a little bit out of hand.
All right, so Carter gets fouled on that shot attempt, so he's going to go to the line to shoot two. So second foul call on Cooper Thorne. So Carter hits his first free throw of the night. He's now in double figures with 10. Goodhue's going to sit as Gus comes in.
Yep.
Carter looking to put that lead back up to 20, and he does. 37-17, 5:31 on the clock here. Third quarter, Jasper up by 20 on the Alices. Trying to set up a trap there.
See, and Vincennes kind of did what I said in the first half about clearing everybody out. They left Corona back there, and Jasper's wanting to run and jump and trap, but as long as if your guy leaves to go trap, you can't run off. You got to stay there to help the guy, and they did there a little bit. So like I said, Jasper's looking to probably work on this so that next week in the sectional they are better at it.
So Dave picks up Smith there. Back in the ball game is Tolliver. He's got the ball right now against Berger. Again, picks up his dribble where he just has nowhere to go with it. And he forces a timeout. So again, I don't think that's anything really the Wildcat defense did. It's just a mistake on the part of number 12 out there.
It is.
So, all right, so we'll take a break. Jasper up by 20, 4:57 to go here in the third on 18 WJTS. All right, so the Alices with the basketball after that timeout, trailing by 20. Trying to trap. Now, he dribbled right into the worst spot he could.
Yeah. And they don't, when guys do that and Team Jasper runs and traps like that, the opposite side of the floor is what's open. Now, granted, it's not easy to get the ball over there, but if they can, that's where they can get the ball for an easy basket.
All right, so Thorne picks up the bucket there. He's got 2 buckets in this quarter. Smith comes down with that rebound after the Wildcat miss.
And I know that's part of the offense and the transition part there is for Gus to shoot that, but I don't know, whether that's really a good shot.
Right.
I mean, if you hit it, everybody's all excited, but if you don't.
So Gus just getting hammered down there, no call. And Berger can't.
I think the referees have checked out of this game, too.
I think so, too.
They're like, okay, let's just keep the clock running. We can go back to Evansville.
Well, even just right there, again, Thorne's trying to set a screen. He reaches his elbow out. Again, you got to call that. Yeah. Just because you've got your set screen there, and then the defender goes around, you reach with your left elbow and, nudge him again, that's a foul. I'm sorry. That's got to be called.
Yeah. And then they call whatever they called here, over the back or whatever it was, and it's like.
All right, so the Cats with the basketball, 18-point lead, 3:33 on the clock here, third quarter, 37-19 as Dave brings it across the V. Takes that handoff from Ernie, now feeds into Gus. Shot fake, a good job by number 35, Hardiman, to block that. Corona in trouble there, now kicks it back out. Hunt back into the ball game, number 13. Corona stops, gets a good look there, and gets the roll. So we've hit three field goals here in this third quarter to make it a 37-21 game now.
They're on fire.
Actually, Jasper's only scored 2 points so far in this third quarter, both from the free throw line.
Yeah, Mundy hit both those, I think, right?
So the Cats have yet to score a field goal here. So they're in a little drought.
You know, and that's what you can't do that, you know. Again, you know, we said you got to throw out the score. You got to play it like it's a tie ball game or a 2-point game either way, you know, every possession. You can't play it like it's a 20-point lead, because every time you want to win. When you break a basketball game down, every quarter you want to win that quarter.
Sure.
If you win, you know, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure out if you win every quarter, you win the game.
Absolutely.
You know, so don't think about winning the game. Think about winning
that quarter at the time.
You want to win every possession, and then from the possession you want to win every quarter. You know, and if you do those things and you play with that mentality, then you become a better basketball team, and you have a chance to win more games.
Hardiman makes a nice quick move there and goes right in for an easy bucket. So now the Cats need a timeout because Vincennes on a little bit of a run here and makes it a 14-point game. 37-23. Cats still up. Vincennes on a roll here on 18 WJTS. All right, so Heim's going to inbound for the Wildcats after the timeout. So John Gable trying to get his team settled, yet to score a field goal here in this third quarter with 2 minutes to go.
Just need to slow down and be patient. Keep running your offense, your set plays that you've got.
Ernie, a little long on that shot though, but he had a good look.
Yeah, I don't fault that. I mean, you know, that's part of our offense, and that's part of the things that we talked about, you know, we had success was taking the ball to the basket.
So Hunt aggressively goes to the
out of bounds, but I didn't know where he was going. I thought maybe he was going to get some popcorn. By the way, they have pretty good popcorn, don't they?
Very buttery.
Have a lot of butter on their popcorn, that's for sure.
Sitting in my stomach right now. So there's a jumper, it doesn't go, but Hardiman's able to get the rebound, puts it up, no call. And the Cats come down with the rebound.
Oh, they missed time open on that cut.
Foley makes a move. Position, spins, off the glass and in. So nice job there by Connor to get a bucket. The first bucket for the Cats here in the second half with 59 seconds to go. 16-point lead. They led by 20 at halftime. Corona gets it to the corner, so shot doesn't go for Tolliver. Now we got a whistle. And that's going to go on White, Corona number 3. Substitutions, Thorne back in, Smith back in. Coming in number 4 is Bushy, Noah Bushy. So 43 seconds to go here. Jasper will have it. 4 fouls on Vincennes, 2 on Jasper here in the second half. Screen set for Isaac, and he's going to drive what could have been an easy layup, but can't get it to go off the glass there. So now Vincennes has a chance to cut into this 16-point lead. Smith.
Thought about it.
He'll drive. Good job by Day to knock that away, but he gets it back and can't get the left-handed shot up and in, so Cats with 10 seconds here. Almiran in the corner. He's going to drive, gets it over to Connor. Connor loses the handle, though. Now we got 2 seconds. Vincennes gets a heave and misses that. So Jasper, after dominating the first 2 quarters, 17-10, 18-5, only scored 4 in that third quarter, and outscored 8-4. It's a 39-23 game right now. Still leading, but need to get back on track in the fourth here on 18 WJTS. 39-23, Vincennes with the basketball. Outscored the Wildcats 8-4 in that third quarter, so the Cats have got to get back on track offensively and defensively.
Yeah, that third quarter was kind of a uneventful quarter on, that can't happen. I mean, the Vincennes player, whoever he is, he wanted the ball worse than any of the Jasper kids.
Yeah, he came up with it.
And he did, and he didn't get anything out of it. But
Albrand misses everything on that one. Day now gets to the lane and gets it up and in. So, but yeah, we had a kind of a battle ensuing there between Connor Foley going against Thorne, who's been very aggressive this whole basketball game.
I give that kid a little bit of credit.
Sure.
I mean, he's played hard. He's been outsized, the whole game, but he's in there and he's battling.
Right.
That's
Smith pops a three. So first three-pointer hit by Vincennes, and it makes it a 15-point game now, 41-26.
Guys on fire to start the fourth quarter. Slept through the third quarter, but so that's where we got to get the ball inside to Foley. Foley's got to want the basketball. He's got to post up play like his size is,
All right, so he battles there, uses his body to get it up, and they're going to call him for a travel.
And did he travel? Yeah. Did he get fouled? Yeah. Did he commit a foul? Probably by backing in the way he did. So there was probably 3 different options the referee could have called there. And you're on the road, you're probably going to get not the advantage of which one he picks.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you talk about the physicality of the game, and it's usually, a battle between big guys down low and all that. How much can you let go? How much do you?
Yeah.
Should you? And all that. It just kind of comes into play there sometimes.
And it does, from an officiating standpoint, that's, they have to establish that. Whoa. They have to establish that from the start of the game, and stick with how close, what are we going to call?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that, it's not officiating, is not an easy thing.
Right.
I mean, they're humans too.
Yeah.
And they make mistakes. I mean, coaches make mistakes, officials make mistakes, but sometimes the officials' ones are more amplified.
Well, and the other thing too is it's like a lot of people say, well, you got to be consistent and call the game the same way you do in the first quarter that you do in the fourth quarter. But sometimes the emotion takes over, and it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Now there's a foul. We heard some.
You could hear that
skin
one.
slapping there. All right, so that's going to be the 5th foul on Vincennes. So no free throws just yet. Jasper's only committed 2 so far, though. 41-26 is our score.
Kind of a reverse of the first half.
Yeah.
We had
7 quickly.
Yeah.
Then only committed, I think, 1 the rest of the way. Mundi finds a spot, but short. Gets his own, gets his own rebound, and he doesn't. So Vincennes comes up with it. All right, so the Cats have only scored 2 field goals here in this second half. 5:21 to go here in the fourth. So offense has been tough for the Wildcats. Hardeman gets it back and kicks to the corner. And they're going to call a travel. Yep. So Gus comes off the bench, ready to go. Connor's going to sit.
I mean, you got to give, as bad as I hate to say it, but you got to give Vincennes a little credit. Their record's not very good, but their kids are out here. They're playing hard.
They're battling, Like I said, it's Jasper versus Vincennes.
That's exactly right. So they're. And I don't know on these rivalries. I don't know from the standpoint of as Heichelbeck makes a good move inside there, but I don't know anymore what the rivalries are like. You know, if they, like when we were in school, I mean, you hated, you know, you hated other schools. And now kids with he traveled.
Oh, and he got the shot up and in, though.
You got kids playing travel basketball, travel baseball, and doing all this stuff, you know, so they're constantly playing with kids from other schools, you know, and I think that kind of takes away some of that hatred between schools.
Yes.
The rivalry factors and things, you know. So from that standpoint, it's not, I think it's calmed down quite a bit.
Right.
You know, there's still rivalry.
Sure.
As Albrand completes the old-fashioned 3. But, you know, there's still rivalries, but I don't know, I don't feel like they're like they used to be.
Well,
I mean, I remember playing over here at Vincennes, and we played downtown at the old Coliseum, and the out-of-bounds line was like right when you took the ball out of bounds on the sideline, your backside was right in front of the fans, and they would reach out and pull the hair on your legs or pinch you, you know. And it was like that everywhere you went, you know. But nowadays, you don't have that stuff.
No. Yeah, there were all kinds of different things and shenanigans and stuff going on during a game like that. Good job by Day to knock that away, but then Vincennes gets it right back. But so there's a good job there by Bushy to get good position for that shot. So he's got his 4th point of the ball game. Berger takes it down and gets blocked there by Thorne. So 46-28 is a score right now.
Jasper's done a good job of basically maintaining the 20-point lead, but, you know, you would have liked to have seen him build on that.
Sure.
You know, you worked hard in that first half to get the 20 points. See, there's a situation where.
Oh, look at this. Somebody can score, and Thorne finally has to hang on to Gus's arm here.
But Gus, the first shot, go back 3 shots ago or whenever it was, but he never got his shoulder square.
Right.
Gus is the biggest guy out there on the floor.
Yep.
Height-wise, size-wise, everything. Square up and take about 3 of them up with you when you go up.
Right.
Quit turning sideways and throwing it up, you know, cattywampus to the rim. Go up, square up, and go up strong.
Well, the bucket he scored earlier, he kind of did that.
He did, but there he didn't, and he missed it. You know, we were fortunate enough out of some hustle by Berger, and I don't know, there's somebody else in there, I think, but we were fortunate enough to keep the ball and end up with some points. But, you know, you got to be strong with the basketball.
All right, so the Cats picking up the full court press here. Now Bushy's able to get it across, and no call there. Bushy makes a spin move, and now Thorne's got a jumper that goes in and out. Goodhue comes up with the board. Here comes Moondy. And he's going to get an easy layup, so good job by Carter to just keep his head up and get to that open spot.
Nobody guarded him. I mean, he just they parted the seas for him and let him go straight to the basket.
All right, so 50-28 now. Jasper up by 22. Corona short on that 3. Goodhue had the rebound. Now Berger comes up with it. Feed inside. Day puts it up and in. So the Cats getting a little bit of a run here. 12 points for Day now. Nice job by Berger to feed him there. And full court pressure continues, and Vincennes has to call a timeout. So Jasper picking it up here in this 4th quarter has built the lead to 24, 52-28 here on 18 WJTS. Vincennes with the basketball, trailing by 24 with 2:17 on the clock here. Drive, shot up, and he wanted that, and he got it. So Peyton Curry gets his 4th point there. 52-30 with a minute 58 on the clock as Cats move into their offense here. Heim stops. Pops, doesn't go.
Vincennes doesn't do a very good job of blocking out. I mean, they reach. instead of blocking their man out, they just try to outreach them. Whoa.
Feed in the corner for a three-point shot, doesn't go. They got to call foul on Thorne. He's hammering everybody out there. All right, so Wallace is going to check in. Will Schmidt's going to check in. Drive there, try to kick back over to Michael Beekler, and he's able to.
Again.
Yep. Berger. Drive to the lane, left-handed shot up and in. So 4 points for Berger tonight, 54-30. Quick three-pointer shot there, doesn't go. Ball gets knocked away. Jasper will hang on to it, so here comes Wally and Schmitty.
Berger and Beekler will take a seat.
Vincennes starting to empty their bench as Colton Poff's checked in. Number 22 is Zachary Steffi. He's a sophomore.
I don't think they got a guy in there over 5'7" maybe right now.
And the shot goes, so Smith gets a bucket there. He's got a nice night going with 9 points. 40 seconds to go as Spencer Englert has the basketball and feeds inside to Heim. 32 seconds, Wallace.
Go to the hole, Wally.
Drive.
Shoot it.
Trying to get that shot up.
It.
Heim wants it now. He feeds it into Wallace, and Wallace misses the left-handed layup.
Missed the layup after he traveled, I think. But the referees are like, just let the clock run.
There are a lot of violations there. Now Smith's going to pop a three. Everybody just left him alone, so.
I kind of like him.
He's padding his numbers here.
He shot the free throws well. He's hit 2 or 3 threes.
Yeah. Played hard the whole night, but Jasper ends up winning this basketball game by 19, 54-35. So, again, just one of those situations where we need to improve after the 2 tough losses. Come to Vincennes, kind of take care of business. Did we see any improvement?
I think you did, on certain aspects of the game. Throw out the win and loss. But I think, we played a little bit harder tonight, at spurts.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the big things that we need to learn to do. And, I think our best ball game that we've played all year was against Bar Eve. We played hard from the opening tip-off till right at the end.
Yeah.
There were some games that, we won, but I still think that was our best ball game.
Right.
Because we played with some intensity. We played with some desire. We played like our tail was on fire. And I don't think we've done that very often. And I don't know why. And that's the thing with that is, Greg, that's not something that you can turn on and off.
I know.
That needs to become a culture of how you play the game. And it's getting too late in the season to be able to change that.
Right.
And that's kind of the thing that scares me or worries me about this team is, to me it seems like they think they can turn that on and off.
Yeah.
Well, when we need to turn it on, we can just flip a switch and it's going to come on. Well, it's not exactly the way that works.
If you're going to have long-term success,
Yeah, the Bar Eve game, we came out with a little chip on our shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, we're not going to let Bar Eve come in here and beat us.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I don't know what the Forecasters Club picks were that night, but I guarantee you they all picked Bar Eve, and they probably all picked Bar Eve by a pretty substantial amount.
Right.
And it's not I'm not picking on the forecasters. I'm just saying that's what the majority of the public thought.
That's what it was on paper,
and they kind of played with a chip on their shoulder like, hey, we're not going to let this happen.
Yeah.
And that's, Thursday night's not going to be an easy trip.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Bedford is one of the worst, used to be, I don't know if it still is, but used to be one of the worst places you could go play.
Mm-hmm.
You literally got screwed when you went there to play. It may be a little bit better nowadays, I don't know, but Bedford teams are always pretty well coached. They're going to play hard. They play in that same conference with New Albany and Jeff and Floyd and all them. So, they beat each other up all year around.
Yeah.
So, they're going to be ready to play when we get there Thursday night. So, let's go up there with the attitude that, we got to play. We got to play with our tail on fire. We got to play hard. We got to go from the opening tip to the end. Don't worry about what the scoreboard says when it's over.
Right.
Just play hard, and I think that's, the coaches they're looking for that.
Sure.
They're wanting that Bar Eve attitude and that mentality to take over and be there every game that we play. And it's going to be that way against Central, a week from tonight in the sectional down there. If you don't come ready to play, because you don't ever know what you're going to get out of them Evansville schools. Last year we played Harrison. We beat Harrison during the regular season, not easily, but beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids probably went down there with that mentality, hey, yeah,
we've beaten this team,
yeah.
Right,
Now, this year we're going to go down there and play a team that we lost to.
Yeah.
Should have beat.
Right.
We're ahead almost the whole game.
Right.
But that's a game where you got to go down there and play with a chip on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, these guys stole a victory from us earlier in the year.
Yeah.
We've got to what do we got to do to pay them back?
Yeah.
And that's the attitude that you got to do that with. And, obviously, when you get to the tournament time, it's win or go home,
mm-hmm.
And you can either have a nice run in the tournament or you can have a very short stay in the tournament.
Right.
So.
Well, and that's everything, too, is that because we play all the teams in our sectional, most of them are conference foes. I guess all of them are. Yeah. And so that means if you have a situation like a Central game, a game that the Wildcats were up by 20 and just really let slip away because of the effort that Central gave in that second half that we weren't able to match up with.
Yeah.
We just did not play as hard as they did in the second half. That's the reason we lost that basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you look at that and you take a step back and you think, all right, this is our chance to make up for that. What do we need to do? And you've got that opportunity coming up here. So, again, I know we got another week until that comes up. But, that's what everybody's thinking right now. We're thinking, what do we do to get ready for the sectional? And that's where we're at.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, you've got to do the things that lead up to that. I mean, obviously you don't want to overlook Thursday night.
No.
That's a key component to things.
That's just another part of the preparation, though, to get ready.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, you want to look at that. But, from our standpoint, from announcers, we can sit here and talk about Thursday night. We can talk about the sectional. We can talk about whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
But, from the coaching standpoint, I'm sure they're focused on Thursday night and getting better as a basketball team.
Right.
So.
All right, so that is the case. Well, Jasper wins this basketball game 54-35, so we'll take a break as the coaches are starting to make their way up here. So we'll talk with one or the other. It's either Jason or Coach Gable. We'll have to wait. All right, take a break here on 18 WJTS. All right, we're back once again here at Vincennes. Coach John Gable and John, they took the score off the board real quick here.
Well, we still remember what it was. We had it written down in the book, so that's all that really matters, I guess.
Right. No. Again, Jason and I were talking after the game was completed and everything. Obviously, when you come into your last week and you know who your sectional opponent is, you know what your situation is and when you play and all that, it's a matter of improving and getting to that point. So what improvement did we see tonight?
I thought we played with heart a lot of the game. I don't think we always played smart, which has kind of been one of our problems all year, but I thought we had guys diving for loose balls. I thought we had guys, when we were trapping, we were moving and talking and rotating for the most part. I thought we attacked the rim better. We didn't go to the foul line enough, but we went more than we generally do. And I thought we got downhill and got into the paint a little bit better and weren't so afraid of contact and didn't settle for so many perimeter shots. I don't think we took a whole lot of them tonight.
Yeah.
Carter Mundy hit a couple, but I don't think we shot. Jack Auburn maybe and Isaac David. We didn't really just chuck it up from the outside. We were determined to get down inside. And with the kind of year we've had, and like I said when I was walking in here, I never really thought that going into the last week of the regular season that we'd be just relieved to get to 6 wins.
Oh, yeah.
That's usually something you're talking about by Christmas.
Right, exactly. Should be 6-2 at
and we've
point.
been really spoiled in that regard, and we took it for granted. And so this is kind of, I think, a wake-up call for us that it's never easy with our schedule. It's never going to be easy. And there were so many games this year that we could have won, but we just flat out didn't. And but that's all in the past right now, and that's what we're talking about next Tuesday. Everybody starts 0-0. I know that's the old cliche, but it is true. But if we have any chance of competing in that sectional, this week is important because we're going to have to practice hard and work hard and compete hard. So winning tonight and playing hard tonight was the first step. Now we have to go to Bedford on Thursday, which is never easy either.
Nope.
And they're a pretty decent basketball team.
Right.
And they're going to fight us, and they're going to be physical. And Jeff Hines coaching up there now.
Yeah.
And his teams are never easy to coach against. When he was here in Boonville and Boise and everywhere he's been, he really motivates his team, and they play physical and they play tough.
Yeah.
So really Thursday night isn't as much about winning as it is just not backing down.
Yeah.
Being tough and being physical and fighting back and playing with a little chip on our shoulder, which we've really, especially in those last two games, the Castle game and the Jeffersonville, we were athletically outmanned, but we didn't have any fight.
Right.
And, that's all I've ever asked of teams. I have never been angry with a team. The Bar Reeve game is a good case in point. I've never been angry with a team that goes in and fights and works and is determined to win. And sometimes you get beat by a team who plays better than you or is better than you or both. But if we'll do that Thursday night, if we'll go up there and defend like our life depends on it and work together and share the basketball and do everything we can do in our power to win the game, I really don't care what the scoreboard says because we're making progress to what we have to do next week. And talk about being under the radar. And we're not anywhere on the radar.
No.
We're not even in the right universe.
Yeah.
Nobody next week is going to give us the chance. You know? Some people ask me if we were happy about our draw, and I would say that the people celebrating the most would be Central and Harrison because they ended up in a bracket with us.
Yeah.
And we kind of deserve that, but at the same time, we ought to take it personal. And that ought to motivate us, you would think, to go out next week and show people that we belong in that sectional still.
And that's the other thing, too. It's a great opportunity for us, too, when you take a look at that draw.
Yeah, I have never minded being the underdog. Coming in under the radar and coming in without people expecting you to do anything because you want people to look past you sometimes. That's to your benefit. Yeah. So if we're going to – I just really do believe, we had a really I think the players came in yesterday, Monday, and they were expecting a pregame practice. We do a lot of walkthrough and teaching things on pregame. And we didn't. We took the gloves off and we had a defensive practice, the entire practice. We went at it defensively. And, they walked out of there after 2 hours pretty tired and somewhat exhausted and drenched in sweat. And I think that was the message that we were trying to send to them, that this game isn't easy, and we're not going to go up to Vincennes and just jog up and down the floor and be able to beat them. No. We're going to have to work. And I think the message was received. I still think there's room for improvement. I still think we had some lapses, and like we came out in the third quarter, I think it scored 4 points. Yeah. And it wasn't from lack of shooting. We got some decent shots. Right. But we lost that edge a little bit, and we also gave up a couple of back-to-back buckets to them. And I think we went through a little bit of stretch there in the third quarter where we lost that focus, but then we gained it back, and we were able to, win the game going away. So now we're trying to do it for even longer on Thursday. Right.
Well, and that's the thing with Thursday coming up. It's almost like playing Vincennes twice with Jeff Hines, at Bedford, So because obviously, that's a matchup that you've been going against for years and years at Boise, and then also
he was
there.
When I became a head coach, but way back almost 20 years ago now, he was the head coach at Boonville. Then he went to Boise, and then he went to Vincennes, and then he went to obviously Bedford. So we've last year was the first year, I guess, in 19 years that I really hadn't coached against him. Or maybe 2 years ago he took a year off from coaching. So it's been almost 3 years now, I guess, since I've gone against him. But I've always respected him, and we do things a little bit differently. But what I admire about him is how hard his teams always play. Right. And and I'm glad. I'm glad we're going to Bedford to see that because we're going to a hostile environment and against a team that's going to work hard and be prepared, and that's going to help us understand the mentality it's going to take to be successful next week.
Well, knowing what you know about Jeff Hine and all that, what do you expect them to do offensively that's going to be, a challenge for you?
Well, I don't think they do anything terribly different than most people do. They do a lot of dribble handoffs and ball screens, and they really work hard to get the ball into the paint so they can kick for good looks. But they're going to be physical. They're going to screen physically. It's going to be tough fighting through screens, and we're going to have situations where because of matchups we don't want to switch those screens. And so getting through screens is going to be tough. And rebounding is going to be tough because his teams have traditionally been very physical offensive rebounders, and so I mean, this the whole gauntlet of physicality is going to present itself Thursday. He's going to have them worked up. He's going to have them intense, and he's going to have them ready to fight. And I mean, at least that's the Jeff Hine I know. And if you look at the schedule they play at Bedford, it's not an easy schedule.
Right.
They play a lot of really good teams, including the Floyd Centrals and the Jeffersonvilles and the New Albanys in the world. So they're a team that's going to be seasoned, and they're going to be on their home floor. And I'm not sure if it's going to be their senior night or not, but it would probably be close to that if it isn't. And so, you know, there going to be some obstacles in our way, but we should see it as a challenge and an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Well, speaking of seniors, didn't get a chance to talk to you after senior night the other night,
Right.
so I want to give you a chance to kind of talk about your senior class this year.
Well, you know what? It's been hard on all of us. Obviously, it's not gone the way we expected it. Nobody expected to be 6-15 right now.
Right.
No, I sure didn't, and that's what we talked about earlier. Taking it for granted that winning was going to happen. We've won a heck of a lot of basketball games over the last several years. It's been 10 years since we were below 500, so it's been a decade. And so we just, and I really thought that we had the tools to be above 500 again this year. I really thought that if things went well, we could get through the regular season 15, 16 wins, somewhere in that area, you know, give or take. And it didn't happen. You know, we had a lot of tough breaks, a lot of close calls. We had guys in and out with COVID like everybody else is, and all the different factors. For different reasons, it just hasn't gone well. And so that's just another thing that's been thrown at these seniors. I mean, they had their baseball season canceled as juniors. They've had to live in a world with COVID-19 and all the social distancing and everything closed and spacing and all that, and social distancing and everything that's been going on in the world. And then on top of that, we had all that political turmoil going on with the elections and the storming of the Capitol and all that craziness in the world.
Right.
It's just been a crazy senior year for these guys.
Yeah,
it's just been a lot of distractions and a lot of things to cause anxiety and fear. And then on top of that, we've had a tough season.
Right.
But as you could probably expect, the seniors have handled it really, really well. And I'm not saying that, you know, they're not hurting and disappointed. And, you know, and then not only have we had a tough season, most of them are taking a back seat. Now, Caleb Berger is still starting, and Jace Goodhue started tonight, but he didn't play a lot of minutes.
Right.
Isaac Heim is no longer starting; didn't play a lot of minutes tonight. And you know, William Schmidt and Andrew Wallace, you know, they generally aren't playing much unless the game's decided, and that's really tough for anybody, especially a senior. But they've handled it with integrity, and they've handled it the best that they can, and they come to practice working hard, and they're still trying to lead, and they're not doing anything less than what you would expect a Jasper basketball kid to do.
Right.
They're handling themselves with class. They do the best they can when they're given the opportunity, and they're doing the best they can to provide leadership for our team. So those, I've got tremendous respect for them, especially in the situation that we've been in this year. And it's always easy to be positive and to stay focused when everything's going your way. But, you know, when you're getting a lot of different things thrown at you, when things aren't going your way and you're getting a lot of bad breaks, you know, it's difficult to keep the faith and to keep going forward. But these guys have.
Right.
And I'm proud of them for that. And I think because of that, they've put us in a position to go into Thursday night at Bedford and be successful, and to go in as a dark horse into that sectional and be successful as well. A lot of it is because of their leadership.
Right. Well, do your job to motivate them and get ready to go.
That's what we're going to try to do.
All right.
Okay.
Well, hey, let you get home. It's Tuesday night, and get this team back home and get back into the books, right?
Yep.
All right. Hey, congratulations on the win, John.
Thanks, Craig. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
All right, so the Jasper Wildcats defeat the Vincennes Lincoln Alices 54-35. So quick rundown of the scoring. Wildcats, chance to tally them here. So that's Day with 12 points, 7 points for Ernie. Let's see here, 13 points tonight for Mundi, 4 points for Berger, and bench scoring, 3 points from Albran. We had 4 points from Foley, and Gus back in double figures tonight with 11. So the Wildcats 54, Vincennes 35. That puts the Wildcats 6-15 on the season, and also a conference win for them, of course, tonight. So now 2-7 on the season in the conference, and that puts them ahead, at least at this point, ahead of Memorial, who is 0-6 coming into tonight, and Vincennes drops to 0-7. So Jasper will now at least be in last place there. But anyway, Vincennes 1-15, Jasper 6-15. So Jasper wins it 54-35 for Jason Stamm and Jeremy Markos. My name is Craig Schneider. This is Wildcat Basketball here on 18 WJTS. Good night.
This has been a presentation of 18 WJTS Sports.